Hello, hello. I am back. Now, I thought I was going to get the after lunch slot, because that's my usual. So we're going to be a little bit energetic, but then you can go and eat. How many people here booked their hotel stay for this conference on an OTA? Don't worry, safe space, you can let me know. A few, yes? And that's because OTAs are really good at influencing bookings, and we're going to learn today what we can steal from that experience. I need us to interact, so we're going to play a little bit of bingo. You're going to get some bingo cards. If you haven't played bingo before, this is a nice intro for you. Essentially, I'm going to give some tips, and every time you see a tip that you've already implemented on your website, you're going to mark it on your bingo card. You can keep the card as well, in case you haven't got anything going. You have some tips to implement later. By the end of the talk, we should have some bingos. So horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Okay? Pardon? Yes, only if it's implemented. If it's a wish, it's still a wish. You can come back next year with a nice full bingo card. Okay? Still a wish. Still a wish, because what I want to see is during my talk, I want you to interrupt me if you get a bingo. And so we'd have a lot of interruptions if we were having wishes and still to be implemented. You know what I mean? So keep on time. Are we ready? All right. Okay. So obviously, I'm interested in knowing if you were going to do something new today, would you start from scratch, try to reinvent the wheel, or do you look at who's doing it better? Show of hands. Start from scratch, not worry about what other people are doing. Look at who's doing it better already. Yes? Excellent. Fantastic. So obviously, my job, I pay attention to OTAs, because if I'm going to provide tools for you, I need to learn from the best as well. And in general, in Triptease, lots of the things that we're thinking about often come from paying attention to OTAs. If you haven't looked at Expedia's 2023 Path to Purchase report, came out a couple of months ago, I would advise that you get your hands on it, because it has some stats that I will be referencing today. So let's get into our top tips. Now, I hope that you can take every single one of them and do something about these tips. Our first thing is new visitors. Yes? I hope many of you know that your homepage is largely for your new visitors, people that don't yet know everything about your brand. So you want to give them a little bit of a good experience so that they can come back to your website. How are OTAs doing it? Price-sensitive guests. So the number one thing that people pay attention to before they book a new brand is price. Yes? Is it in my range? Can I afford it? Am I going to get good value? So OTAs are highlighting that on their websites. With booking, we have offers in general, but also a deal. Now, I know some of you are luxury places. You don't want to talk about price early on. That's okay. I've got you. You can have your offers landing page, and then you just make sure that you signpost that. Yes? Do you have any people circling things on their bingo cards? Yeah? Excellent, excellent. So that's our first tip. The next way to prioritize those new guests is to make it clear how they move forward. Yes? So you need to have your call to action stand out. Desktop, mobile, it really needs to be clear what you want me to do. Because I'm new to your website, so I don't know. I maybe have experience on other websites, maybe I have experience on website, but you want to let me know what to do with that bold call to action. It has to be a beautiful, different color from the rest of your page. And if you can make it sticky, so that next best step available for the whole journey, especially in mobile where I might be scrolling forever, you want to let that be sticky in navigation. Okay? Next. Finding information. So how many of you booked your hotel for Chicago the first time you went to your website? You went to the website the first time and you were like, yep, ready to book. How many? Not tons? Don't forget this. Yes? So before people make a booking, they want to find information. and you need to make that simple. This chart shows you the proportion of time in days that people are spending on the other phases. Can you see how tiny booking is? 1 dot. So if I can't find information, while I'm in that inspiration, research, planning stages, your website will not even be on my radar. Yes? And any guest's radar. So how do we do this? How are OTAs doing it? Well, signposting. If you go to a train station, you go to a website, you want to know what you can do, how you can do it, and you want it to be easy. So this is the minimum that you want to signpost: your location, your rooms, your amenities. Almost 100% of people that land on the page probably want to look at that information before they make a booking, unless they're already familiar with your brand. Yes? Bingo's ticking away? Awesome, awesome, very good. This is an example of a triptychs hotel that does this quite well. So we can see that the highlighted section shows the different options that are available to to the guest. Please don't hide it behind a click if you can expose it. Yes? Next, you want to make finding complex information simple. How many people saw the Gen Z guy yesterday? They aren't into reading. Don't make them read. And since that's the people that are going to be booking for the next few years in your hotel, you need to give them simple things to look at. So lists, icons, bullet points, make things scannable, okay? People are really lazy, don't make them work too hard. We can see an example here with Center Hotels showing icons on their website to make it easy to find those bits of information that guests are using. Yeah? Tip number 3. Make it easy to compare. Again, how many people compared a few things before they booked? No one? Some people? Some comparers are in the room, yes? So people will compare. They will either do it on your site or go somewhere else. Now, a lot of people go onto OTAs to compare because there's a breadth of hotels that you probably aren't going to offer on your website. But after visiting an OTA, guess where they go next? They still don't book immediately, but there has to be some comparison. So they go to another travel website, an airline, a hotel, a meta travel website. What your goal should be for this kind of guest is putting yourself in play. Make it easy for them to compare something on your website. So a couple of examples from the OTAs. Rooms. Why is rooms important? Why? Maybe I have kids. I want to know what the bed setup is. Maybe we're a group going for a bachelorette party. So I don't want to have to work hard to find out whether your hotel can accommodate my needs. I want to look at it easily. Very easy on OTA websites. Our chart shows that price is still the #1 factor. We can't get away from price. And so if someone is price sensitive, they're going to look for a price. Don't hide it. There's no point. You can't make someone afford you if they can't afford you, right? So make it easy to compare price. Our OTAs here do a good job of comparing hotel to hotel, but for you, you want to offer on-site price comparison to what? The OTAs. Because if you don't want to lose the guest going off to Google, going off to somewhere else to check whether they're going to get the best price on your website, then offer them something on your website. How are we doing? Any bingos? No? Okay. Let's look at what that means, because maybe your website isn't like OTAs. Right, this is another example of a triptychs hotel that offers clear room comparison. You can see the number of beds, you can see the maximum occupancy. It's very easy for me to choose which room to book. Some of you have had coaching with me. This is not new to you. Yeah? We also have an example of the Marvel group that is providing the room comparisons in a slightly different way. So they have more room types, and they're still managing to show a sense of the scale of the rooms as well as the features of the room. I thought we'd have a bingo. What's going on? Next year. All right. Now, no one is coming onto the website to book in the first step, right? We know this. We've accepted it. We saw that booking is one small chunk of many steps. We saw that Google shared that there are an average 42 touch points before a single guest makes a booking. So what is the likelihood that the next action the guest wants to take is to book? Who's good at maths? Quite slim, huh? So when the guests are in the different phases of their journey, you want to make it clear what's available as a next best action. So Expedia says that nearly 78% of people have had a prior booking experience on a website that they booked on. Yes, so reinforcing that thing. So people come onto your website, then they go away, then they come back, and then they book. So you want to make it clear to all of the different steps or kinds of users what they need to do next. Our number one way that we're going to do this is with hierarchy. So you have page hierarchy, where you use the layout of the page to show the user what, or to prioritize the users in how they take action, or you can use the flow of the website. Yes, so if you don't want everything on a single page, you can put it on multiple pages, but show the clear link with your call to actions. When we're using hierarchy, we want to make sure that our main call to action, the thing that we want most of the users to do at any given point, stands out. You must never have confusion. What am I going to do? So I saw a couple of people, they had their call to actions weren't so clear. You want your call to actions to be like a peacock, bold, like my trousers, okay? No quiet call to actions when you're thinking about the main thing that you want to do, okay? Next, we prioritize the newer people, the people that are highest in the funnel for your experience, so the people that are seeking inspiration. Most of you are doing that already. Your videos, your inspirational photos, put that at the top of the page. Your hero section, because 100% of people that land on the page will see that content. And anyone who's already inspired will move down the page or move across in the flow. Yes? Now, after we've worked on those newbies, those people that are higher in the funnel, we start to work on the people that are maybe coming back for their second visit or have already been inspired by your hotel. This is where we want important overview information. Yes, you're either using your signposting like we talked about before, or you have a little overview section that calls out summaries of amenities, maybe a map, maybe average reviews, things like that that can sway people into wanting to know more, or certainly shortlisting your hotel. Yes? Next, in our hierarchy, we have people that are looking for more detailed information. Maybe they've got a few hotels shortlisted, and you're still in the running. They're looking for more details on the location, what's around the hotel, what's an attraction. They're looking at amenities. They're looking at detailed information about your property. These people will work a little bit harder, and if you had those things in the overview, they'll click through to other pages. And finally, boring stuff. Policies, instructions, alternative hotels, FAQs. People who want that stuff, they're going to work really hard. Don't bother putting it at the top of the page. Move it down. They will work. And so those are the lowest in your hierarchy. But you want to make sure that that information is visible because they still want to know it, and you could get some conversions and movement from that group of people. Let's look at what it's like in action. I hope the video will work. Is it working? You can go to the Expedia website. It's laid out beautifully. They start with clear call to action. They have their inspirational photos. They call out the number of photos. Then they give an overview of the hotel, location, map, yada, yada, yada. They keep information at the top so that you can skip down because they've used a single page. But some of you will use multiple pages for the same thing. Just make sure you have those links so that people looking for more information can go to those sections. Let's go through. Oh, it works. Okay, so like I said, the videos, the map, the anchor links to take people down the page, quick, nice icons, summary around the area, room options. Every room option is visible. Now, you might not want to do all the room options, but some room options. Further down, more details about the place, more details about the property, cleaning and safety practices. Like, the further we go, the less Gen Z this is. And more millennials, more boomers, yeah? So that's the way that you prioritize. But at any given point, it is still possible to go through those sections rather quickly, yeah? Don't forget that. And of course, we have ease of making a booking and continuing on in the journey. Let's look at an example of a Triptease hotel, the Montage Los Cabos, which has sort of 6 sections on their homepage. So the first section, we have the primary call to action, we have the inspiration. I would make the call to action a little bit bolder, but maybe they're a nice, quiet brand. I encourage you all to be more like peacocks, more like my trousers. Next, we have the research and latest updates. So people that are still planning, people that are still researching can go through that. They throw in a little bit more inspiration, so they have different destinations, so they point people to those different things. And next, we have information on wellness, dining, then we have offers, and then finally, newsletter sign up. You might have a different priority, but you need to be clear on what that priority is, because your type of property and sort of ADR, all of that sort of thing, will have an influence on how you should prioritize the page. I highly recommend looking at your data and looking at your goals to make the decision on how to prioritize. We're about to go into tip 5. Are you telling me we have no bingos yet? You have a bingo? Come on, bingo! Give her a clap. Well done. We'll have to talk to you about what you're doing. So bingo before tip 5. Not what I expected, but better than what I thought before now. Now, we've looked at happy stuff, but here's the truth. People are worried about things, especially if they don't know your brand. So what are OTAs doing? They're reassuring people, addressing the elephants in the room, literally. What might people be worried about? Well, is the website easy to use? That's the second thing people are worried about. Imagine that. We also have people worrying about the payment options that are available to them. And we have people worrying, particularly now in sort of a post-COVID era, about flexible cancellations. So I've just picked these 3 as examples of things that OTAs are doing, but they're pretty much addressing all of them, including things like no hidden fees, which sometimes they cheat on, but I hope some of you are addressing yourselves. So what does this look like in the experience? We have very clear cancellation policies with dates on when the person will get refunded and whether they're going to get a full refund or a partial refund. We have 2 examples of that, one with the little diagram and one more in text. We also have some free cancellation callouts. So this is an opportunity for you to use an accent color that stands out a little bit against the rest of the background and just say it says, hey, you're going to get a free cancellation if you make this booking. This reassures someone that they should book with you, and then you can use your email strategy to make sure they don't cancel, but get the booking first, okay? They're gambling on the fact that lots of people will be reassured enough to make a booking, and enough of them won't cancel later. Next, they offer instant price matches. Like, if you think, oh, maybe this is not the best price, but you're not in the mood to do the work, what's going to make you complete the booking? Well, booking says, don't worry. If you find a cheaper rate, we will refund you. They don't make any phone calls. Don't worry about that. We've got you. You want to offer similar things if you can. And we have a different spin on it by a coder over there. So, of course, if you can't do anything, you can still have the manual ones. That's better than not addressing it at all. Yeah? Speaking about the ease of booking, so you can do that by steps, or you can do that with time. And here, booking calls out, no account needed. Booking takes 2 minutes. So if I was running short of time, I'm on my mobile phone on the go, I'm like, oh, this is cool, I can do it really quickly. Because what's a big fear? It's going to take a long time to get this booking through. So reassure your guests. And the final bits are payment options. So in this example, Expedia offers a pay when you stay and a pay now. And so if you choose the pay when you stay, they don't stop there. They still offer some reassurance that your payment option is still valid. Don't worry, we won't take the booking now. We're just taking your credit card, and it will be a pay at stay. If you don't do that, you might lose the booking at this point. I urge you to have a look at your payment pages and see if you have any drop-offs. And if you reassure, I would expect to see that number coming up immediately. Next, personalization. I don't need to tell you that Booking, Expedia, Agoda, Hotels.com, they have tons and tons of experiments running, showing different experiences to the guests as they go through. It goes as detailed as changing a single line in a long block of text. So there's couples particularly loves this hotel. They rated it 9.3 when I searched for 2 guests, and then solo travelers really enjoyed it. They rated it a 9.0. Now, if I wasn't doing this research for you guys, I would have been totally sold. Oh my God, I feel so seen. Yes? So change your copy or your imagery to make people feel like you are creating an experience just for them. Another example is from Agoda. So depending on what you choose, on the left, you get a different message on the right. So group travelers, I got given a message that said, need 10 rooms or more. What's the hidden question I had about group? How many is a group? And they clarify it there, 10 rooms. It's a big jump from couples to 10 rooms, but sure. That's the point at which you get the different rates. Again, the personalized copy makes me feel like it's an experience just for me. We had a whole panel on this, so hopefully I don't need to convince you twice. You need to give value in return for data, okay? Don't just put pop-ups everywhere with no reason to give the pop-ups. We're going to have 3 examples. The first one is Agoda encouraging someone to log in so that they can see the items in their cart. It's the classic e-commerce move. Then we have Expedia advising people that only one key members can earn rewards if they sign up. And the final one is from Expedia asking you to log in to get member rates. All of these things require an email, and we know that these OTAs use all of those details that they get with you logged in on your mobile phone to do a lot of email marketing. Yeah? Why should we make these changes? The number one place that your guests are spending their time is OTAs. And we want to make the shift so that the chart looks a little bit more like this. More time collectively on hotel websites. The next time I do these talks, I expect to see some bingo. So the purple things, does anyone have a diagonal bingo? Woo! Bingo, bingo, bingo. Does anyone have a horizontal? No. Woo! Bingo, bingo, bingo. And finally, our last bingo is at the bottom. Any bingos? Wicked. Woo! The rest of you that didn't bingo, go talk to the bingos. They know what they're doing. Thank you.
I wanted to ask about, you put up an example of a hotel doing the comparison part right. I think it was Marival Armani over there that was being shown. Were you showing, you weren't showing the booking engine, right? You were showing the website.
Yes, that was the website.
So my question is about the difference in website design and user experience versus OTAs on our websites versus our booking engines. Because with an OTA, you are on they're the same thing, right? The site is the booking engine.
Yes.
For most of us, the site and the booking engine are not the same thing. You leave the site experience and you now don't control. So like, for example, at Marival, same as mine, because I think we have the same booking engine, you can't compare rooms, right?
Right.
Once you get to that point. So do you have an opinion on how many resources or how much resources hotels should devote to changing their booking platforms or their booking engines versus website design if it's all going to fall apart when you get to the booking engine?
So with room comparison, someone is still researching, right? The likelihood that they're going to go to the booking engine without having seen an overview of the rooms, if that's what they're interested in, is slim, right? So you want to have, I'm not saying you should have all your room categories, but if there's some key differences, you want to call them out on your website so that you can move more people from from visitors to lookers. Yep, so I think it's still important. So your booking engine does its thing. You kind of have someone with a bit higher intent if they're already there, but what about those people that haven't even yet been convinced to do a search?
Okay.
Yeah?